Hello there, I'm Azaria Tagaya and you're watching Nightline. Here are the headlines. Civil servants to receive salary, Aidilfitri special financial aid early. And former Perlis MB charged with submitting over 1 million ringgit in false claims. Good morning. Former Perlis Menteri Besar Datuk Seri Azlan Man claimed trial at the Kanga Sessions Court to 5 counts of charges for submitting false travel claims worth 1.185 million ringgit between 2013 and 2017. The 65-year-old entered the plea when the charges were read to him by the court interpreter before Judge Nursalha Hamzah. Datuk Seri Azlan was charged with submitting false claims for accommodation and flight tickets to London, United Kingdom for 5 years. He was said to have submitted false claims amounting between 230,230 ringgit and 253,195 ringgit to the Perlis state government for the period of 5 years, despite not making the travels. He, however, was entitled for an annual paid holiday overseas when he held the office of the Menteri Besar. He was charged under the MACC Act 2009 for submitting or certifying a document containing false details. The offences carries a jail term of up to 20 years and a fine not less than 5 times the amount of the false claims. And in connection with the proceeds that he had gained from the alleged false claims, Deputy Public Prosecutor from the MACC Putrajaya, Ahmad Akram Garib, informed the court that Datuk Seri Azlan is expected to be charged at the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court this week under the Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act, AMLA. He added that prosecution was also applying for the case to be transferred to the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court to be heard together with the AMLA case. The court subsequently fixed bail at 50,000 ringgit with one shorty and set May 12th for mention. Civil servants will receive their April salary by the 14th of this month, 3 days earlier than the scheduled April 17th. This also includes the 2023 Aidilfitri Special Financial Assistance, which would benefit nearly 1 million individuals. In making the announcement on Monday, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the decision to change the date was made to help them with their Hari Raya Aidilfitri preparations.
Saya dapat banyak rayuan daripada penjawat awam dan masyarakat menyatakan kalau jadual 17 ke atas itu terlalu suntuk untuk kesiapan Aidilfitri, jadi kita awalkan dan mulai 10 dan selewat-lewatnya 14 hari bulan selesai. Maknanya pada 14 hari bulan selesai semua pembayaran.
The Prime Minister spoke to the media after visiting the Bank Simpanan Nasional branch in Maruraya in Ipoh, Perak. Earlier, Public Service Department PSD Director General Datuk Dr. Zulkifli Muhammad said that the government had agreed to bring forward the payment of the 2023 Aidilfitri Special Financial Assistance to civil servants and government retirees from April 17th to April 14th. Datuk Seri Anwar said the special assistance would benefit nearly 1 million individuals. They include paddy farmers, fishermen, rubber tappers, uniformed volunteers and pensioners. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister said the appointment of the Kedah Regional Development Authority KEDA chairman would be reviewed. Datuk Seri Anwar said this after the appointment of several UMNO leaders to government-linked companies, GLCs, has received criticism from various parties.
Dan saya juga bincang dengan Presiden UMNO, TPM Datuk Seri Zahid. Salah satu beberapa pengumuman itu juga kita akan yang belum dihantar surat termasuk cadangan pengurusi KEDA akan kita teliti semula. Jadi belum ada pelantikan. He said this after attending the presentation of Sumbangan Tunai Rahmah STR at the Maruraya branch of Bank Simpanan Nasional in Ipoh on Monday. Datuk Seri Anwar also said the appointment of UMNO leaders into GLCs is based on qualifications and those appointed have to go through stringent conditions. Earlier, former Baling Member of Parliament Datuk Seri Abdul Aziz Abdul Rahim was announced by Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid as chairman of KEDA. The theory test for vocational licences, namely the Public Service Vehicle PSV licence and Goods Driving Licence GDL, has been abolished. Transport Minister Anthony Loke, however, said candidates applying for PSV and GDL vocational licences are still required to sit and complete the theory class before the licences are issued.
Speaking during a media conference in Putrajaya on Monday, Lok said theory classes for all vocational licence categories will also be allowed online, either through a platform provided by the Road Transport Department RTD, the Driving Institute or a qualified intermediary business company regulated by the RTD.
Jadi kita kecualikan ujian. Hanya ambil kelas PSB dan itu pun tak perlu fizikal. Dia boleh buat secara online. Di rumah mereka pun mereka boleh ambil kelas teori itu. Jadi apabila mereka siap kelas teori itu, maka akan diberikan lesen PSB secara digital. Okay, itu yang akan ditambah baik. Kita akan bekerjasama dengan pihak IHO untuk melaksanakan pembaharuan ini.
Meanwhile, Lok also said that the maximum age limit for vehicles used as taxis and for e-hailing rides had been extended from 10 years to 15 years, effective January 1st, 2023. The taxi and e-hailing drivers are, however, required to ensure the cleanliness and safety of their vehicles by conducting periodic inspections every year.
Speaking on another matter, Lok said former Prime Minister Datuk Sri Mohammad Najib Tun Razak's royal pardon petition has never been discussed by the Cabinet as it is not the government's stance. He said the petition is only UMNO's stance as a political party.
Bukannya pendirian kerajaan. Dia tak pernah dibawa, to be fair to the UMNO ministers, dia tak pernah dibawa ke Kabinet. Jadi itu bukannya pendirian Kabinet, pendirian parti. Pardon ini dari segi prosesnya, dia memang sesiapa saja selepas disampaikan kesalahan boleh memohon pardon. Itu adalah proses biasa. So the process ialah dia adil kepada semua.
Lok, who is also DAP's Secretary-General, said anyone convicted of an offence could seek a royal pardon, which is a normal process in the country, and that the government has placed full confidence on due process and the wisdom of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong to make the best decision. On August 23rd, 2022, the Federal Court upheld Datuk Sri Mohammad Najib's conviction, along with a 12-year jail sentence and 210 million ringgit fine, after he was found guilty of misappropriating 42 million ringgit of SRC International Sendirian Berhad funds. On March 31st this year, the court dismissed his application for a review of its decision. Datuk Sri Mohammad Najib is currently serving his sentence at Kajang Prison.
The Dewan Negara Assembly on Monday passed 3 bills under the Finance Ministry related to supplementary government expenditure, tax administration improvements and the levy of extraordinary profits. The bills were the Supplementary Supply Bill 2023, Finance Bill 2023 and Windfall Profits Levy Bill 2023, which were approved by a majority vote.
At the tabling of the Supplementary Supply Bill 2023, Deputy Finance Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Maslan said the estimated first additional operating expenses of 2022, amounting to 60.17 billion ringgit from the Consolidated Fund, is to finance supply expenses. Also raised in the session were several issues, including the planning and funding for the elections in 6 states.
PRN 6 negeri ini ada jumlah yang tertentu, mereka sedang mengira berapa jumlahnya dan PRN itu akan berlaku kurang pasti bila, tapi khabarnya bulan 6, 7, 8 begitu ya. Nanti mereka akan membuat anggaran berapakah jumlah untuk PRN 6 negeri. Tapi PRU 15 jumlahnya ialah 1 bilion ringgit.
Commenting on targeted diesel subsidies, Datuk Sri Ahmad Maslan also explained that the system to be used will be ready in July and the implementation period will be announced. In addition, the Deputy Finance Minister also said that the government has no intentions of abolishing pensions, as it is an expenditure provided for under the Federal Constitution.
The government is beefing up cybersecurity in order to nullify threats by scammers and hackers. Communications and Digital Minister Fahmi Fazil said that it was important so that personal data was not breached and misused by irresponsible parties.
We are looking at several key and very important legislative amendments, including we are working to amend the Personal Data Protection Act to make it more robust, to make sure that those who hold on to data are more responsible about protecting the data that is under their custody.
The minister said this to newsmen at a media appreciation event in Kuala Lumpur on Monday night. He added that the government was looking to merge the National Cybersecurity Agency NACSA and Cybersecurity Malaysia CSM and form the Malaysia Cybersecurity Commission MCC. For this, he said a bill must be brought to Parliament. The Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Ministry has denied rumours of an increase in the price of imported meat in the market. Its Minister, Datuk Sri Salahuddin Ayub, said thus far goods under the price control of the ministry, such as eggs, chicken and imported meat, have not experienced any price increase.
Datuk Sri Salahuddin said the price of imported meat would only be around 18 ringgit to 21 ringgit per kilogram depending on its grade, while the price of local beef showed stability, which is at a price of 37 ringgit 96 cent per kilogram and has remained the same from November 2022 until April 10th, 2023. However, Datuk Sri Salahuddin stressed that the ministry does not control local meat prices, noting that there could be premises that have taken advantage of the situation and have marked up the prices for their own benefit. The minister said members of the public have been urged to file a complaint immediately in the event of a price increase. He added that the government will announce the maximum price scheme for about 30 types of basic necessities for the month of Ramadan and Shawwal on Wednesday. News from the foreign front. China declared it had successfully completed 3 days of war games around Taiwan on Monday after it deployed dozens of aircraft to launch simulated strikes and an aerial blockade of the self-ruled island. A Chinese state television reported the aircraft, including nuclear-capable H-6 bombers armed with live missiles and warships, staged drills to form a multi-directional island-encompassing blockade situation. An aircraft carrier, the Shandong, also took part in combat patrols. Taiwan's Defense Ministry, meanwhile, published a map on Monday of the previous 24 hours of Chinese Air Force activities, showing 4 carrier-based Chinese J-15 fighters operating over the Pacific Ocean to Taiwan's east. It spotted 70 military aircraft and 11 ships around Taiwan, and that the Shandong carrier group was conducting drills in the Western Pacific. China announced the 3 days of drills on Saturday after Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen returned to Taipei following a meeting in Los Angeles with U.S. House of Representatives Speaker Kevin McCarthy.
In Taiwan.
Tibetan spiritual leader the Dalai Lama apologized on Monday for an interaction with a young boy in a viral video that set off a controversy. The video, which has gone viral, shows the 87-year-old planting a kiss on the boy's lips as he leaned in to pay his respects. The Buddhist monk was then seen sticking his tongue out as he asked the boy to suck it. Following the incident, the Dalai Lama's office said he wanted to apologize to the child and his family for the hurt his words may have caused. The statement, however, did not explicitly refer to the words he was heard saying. Sticking one's tongue out is a way of greeting in Tibet, but several people expressed outrage on social media over the 87-year-old's actions after the video went viral on Sunday. Australia last month seized the second largest heroin shipment ever detected in the country after intercepting 336 kilograms of the illicit drugs worth 789.56 million ringgit inside a shipment sent from Malaysia to Brisbane. The Australian Federal Police in a statement said the seizure was made on March 13th when they found the drugs hidden in 2 blocks of concrete weighing 500 kilograms each.
Police investigators who drilled into the cement blocks managed to recover 960 packets of drugs, each containing about 350 grams of heroin. After recovering the drugs, the authorities allowed the consignment to continue on to the address listed on its paperwork in Brendale, North Brisbane on March 28th. A 55-year-old man allegedly collected the consignment in a rented truck on March 29th, which then travelled to Sydney, where it was delivered to an industrial shed in Mount Druitt the next day. He returned to the shed the next day and allegedly used industrial tools to cut into the concrete and access the heroin hidden inside the display stands. Police then arrested the man as he left the shed later that morning. The 336-kilogram seizure is the second largest onshore detection of heroin in Australian law enforcement history.
Veteran Hong Kong actor and comedian Richard Ng Yui Hon has died on Sunday following many age-related ailments. Known for his comedic roles in the 1980s and 1990s, the 83-year-old's death was confirmed by his family, who was informed by doctors treating him. The actor's heart had reportedly stopped and he was being kept alive by life support equipment, with the doctors eventually confirming his passing with the signing of a death certificate. It was understood that the actor has suffered from many ailments due to his age. In an interview 2 years ago, Ng revealed that apart from hearing loss, he was also suffering from a chronic kidney disease. Also known as Richard Wu, Ng had a successful career in the film and television industry and had appeared in over 80 films. Ng also worked alongside some of the biggest names in Hong Kong movies, including Datuk Jackie Chan, Tan Sri Michelle Yeoh, Andy Lau and Jet Li. Football, the German Bundesliga, Hoffenheim boosted their chances of avoiding relegation with a 2-0 win over FC Schalke.
Alex Kral turned a cross from Angelino into his own net in the 22nd minute to gift Hoffenheim the lead. Ilas Bibu made it 2-0 from the penalty spot at the second attempt after his initial shot was saved. But Schalke goalkeeper Ralf Behrmann was penalised for leaving his line too early. The scoreline remained till the final whistle, giving Hoffenheim the much-needed 3 points. Pellegrino Matarazzo had a tough start at Hoffenheim with 5 straight losses after being appointed in February, but he's begun to turn that around with their win over Schalke being the 3rd victory in a row.
Still on football, the Portuguese Primeira Liga, Francisco Trincao scored a hat-trick to help Sporting Lisbon defeat 10-men Casa Pia 4-3.
Trincao needed just 18 seconds to put the visitors ahead when he danced past 2 defenders before slotting the ball home. Casa Pia levelled the score 6 minutes later when Rafael Martins took advantage of an error from Sebastian Coates. Trincao then curled in Sporting's second in the 39th minute before Yuki Soma put Casa on level term just before the break as he reacted the fastest to the rebound after the initial shot was blocked by Sporting's keeper. Pedro Gonçalves restored the lead for Sporting 3 minutes into the second half, just for Felipe to again equalise for Casa in the 62nd minute to make it 3-all. The match was about to end when Trincao struck the winner for Sporting, finishing off a curling cross from the left side, sealing a 4-3 win. With the victory, Ruben Amorim's men improved to 57 points in 4th place, while Casa Pia remained in 8th with 38 points.
After this breather, mechanic sentenced to 28 years in jail for raping daughter. Nightline, Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah will retire on April 21st after having served the nation for 35 years. Having led Malaysia's response to the COVID-19 pandemic, Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham is well remembered for helping to steer the nation out of the health crisis that crippled much of the world since 2020.
The father of 6 said he is looking forward to spending more time with his family after he steps down on April 21st, which is the day he turns 60 and the mandatory retirement age for public service members. Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham is particularly well known as the face of the health sector's fight against COVID-19, as he gave daily updates on the number of infections in the early days of the pandemic. According to a Facebook post by the Food Safety and Quality Division of the Health Ministry dated April 7th, the Malaysian Food Analysts Council meeting held the day before was the last meeting chaired by Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham before his retirement. He has held the Health Director General portfolio since 2013 and previously held the post of Deputy Health Director General of Medicine between January 2008 and February 2013. He was appointed last year to chair the World Health Organization's Standing Committee on Health Emergency Prevention, Preparedness and Response. Apart from his work in the public health sector, he is also a surgeon specializing in breast and endocrine surgery.
Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi is seeking to have his charges dropped for misappropriating 31 million ringgit of funds from his foundation, Yayasan Akal Budi. Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid's lawyer, Hamidi Muhammad Noor, during the hearing of the case on Monday, said the defence has submitted a representation to the Attorney General's chambers, citing new facts and evidence in the case. Hamidi also asked Court of Appeal Judge Datuk Colin Lawrence Sequeira, who is sitting as a High Court judge, to adjourn the proceedings pending a decision from Attorney General Tan Sri Idrus Harun. He said the 200-page long representation letter was sent to Tan Sri Idrus earlier this year. The court allowed the adjournment and fixed August 1st for mention. In Negeri Sembilan, a mechanic was sentenced to a total of 28 years in jail and 13 strokes of the cane by the Seremban Session Court on Monday for raping and sexually assaulting his daughter. Judge Datin Suritabudin handed down the sentence after the 47-year-old man pleaded guilty to both charges.
The jail sentences were to run concurrently from the date of arrest, which was April 3rd this year. According to the first charge, the man allegedly raped the girl, who was then 11 years old, at their house in Jumpol at midnight between December 20th and 31st, 2017. He was also charged with committing physical sexual assault on the girl when she was 12 years old at the same location and time between April 11th and 30th, 2018. He was charged under the Penal Code and Sexual Offences Against Children Act. The victim had told her mother and other siblings about the incidents, but the accused denied it. The matter came to light when the victim, now aged 17, told her friend about the incidents, who then reported it to a teacher, followed by a police report the same day.
In Terengganu, the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency MMEA foiled an attempt to smuggle 2 million cigarettes worth 1.2 million ringgit at the Sungai Setiu estuary in Setiu at around 5:30 a.m. on Sunday.
The state's maritime director, Captain Khairul Anwar Abdul Majid, said the smuggling activities were detected based on intelligence gathered for several days, adding that a maritime vessel conducted a special operation in Besut waters and channeled the information to personnel on land to make the seizure. A patrol detected a boat travelling in a suspicious manner that then tried to evade the patrol by ditching in shallow waters. The suspects on the boat then made their escape. Although the suspects managed to escape in the darkness, the maritime land team managed to locate a 5-ton lorry around the Sungai Setiu estuary. Inspections revealed 200 boxes of smuggled cigarettes in the lorry, and authorities are still tracking down the smugglers.
Now, with vibrant decorations and bustling markets, Jeddah comes alive at night as colourful lights and decorations light up the narrow streets in Al-Balad district during the month of Ramadan. Let's take a look at the festival as we wrap up Nightline this time around. I'm Azaria Tagaya. Thanks for watching. Selamat bersahur.